Hello, 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 and welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream happening every Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm your host, Leslie Klein, and I'm here all about the Good Vibes Lifestyle. So, what is a Good Vibes Lifestyle? Well, it's basically vibrating or having your energy at the higher vibrations of love versus the lower vibrations of fear. Basically, that's simply how we put it. So here we are today, and I'm so excited because I got a lot to share today, lots going on. So today is April 10th, and in just 2 days, we have 3 days rather. 10th. In 3 days, we have a full moon. So things are getting exciting. Now, I am streaming live to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and you can comment. So if you are watching, please comment. And you can comment on the replay as well. I do see those as well and can respond to you. So I would love to have that interaction with you. All right, so let's talk about the astrological news that's going on. The big news is that Mercury went direct on April 7th, just 3 days ago. So you should start feeling like the energy is moving forward, and that communications and things will straighten out. But the thing is, there is a pre-Mercury retrograde shadow, and an after effect shadow, kind of like a hangover, of about 7 to 10 days after. So things are still kind of working themselves out as far as mercurial things, which has to do with travel, communications, and computers and contracts, things like that. So things will get better. And we have more wonderful energy happening because we are in the process of going from the new moon, which happened a couple of weeks ago when it was the eclipse, a partial eclipse on March 29th, going to the full moon, which will happen this Saturday in the sign of Libra at 8:22 p.m. Eastern Time. So the full moon in Libra has to do with balance, has to do with relationships and self-awareness. This lunation illuminates the dynamics between individuality and partnership, and encourages reflection. So it's all about harmony. The Libra are the scales of balance, and it's about bringing things into balance. And sometimes things have to go way out of whack for us to bring them out of balance. Just like a pendulum swings from one extreme to the other extreme, balance is in the middle. So we're always trying to get back into balance. The other big thing that's happening right after the full moon is that the planet Venus goes direct. And so we'll have about 3 weeks where all the planets are direct. So that means all the energies are moving forward, and you'll see as things pick up in speed and lots of things happening in the world, in our lives. So we're in that spring energy. So it's a lot of energy. It's that energy that we need to grow, the energy that a seed needs to push through the soil and to sprout. So that's the kind of energy we are in. And, we're in this process of sprouting and growing and, new beginnings. So let's talk about more cosmic things as we go from astrology to UFOs and UAPs. UAP is the term for unidentified anomalous phenomena, which is the new term that the government has come up with in the last couple of years to kind of replace UFO, but most people know UFOs. So the big news this week is that Jake Barber and the Skywatcher team, they have come up with a new YouTube channel that talks about their efforts as the Skywatcher team. And they're all about communicating with the ETs and bringing proof. So Jake Barber and his Skywatcher team, and I'm going to give you the link to the episode. They came out with episode 2, and that episode is very interesting because he talks about 2 ways that they are calling in ET. right? These ET craft. So they're using what they're calling dog whistles to call these ET craft in. So there are two types. One is a machine calling, that's an actual electromechanical signaling machine that puts out a signal that is like 100% accurate in bringing, they have ET respond every time they use this machine. The other way they are calling them in is through psionic calling. Psionic is the government's term for psychic, basically. So people who are sensitive and psychic, mediums, this kind of thing, are being used to call in and communicate with ETs to call them in so they can be documented. Now, Jake Barber was part of a team with government and some government contractors. I don't think he's working with them anymore, as he's created this new enterprise called Skywatcher. But he was involved in moving UAP craft, specifically the egg-shaped ET craft, from one location to another. He's done many missions for the government like that, but now he's kind of going off on his own because he wants to expose the truth about what's happening, because the government is slow to release what's going on. And I'm not even sure the government, not all of the government knows what's going on, because it's these secret special ops groups that are really, Dr. Greer says, unconstitutional and illegal. So there's a lot happening in the world of UFOs and UAPs. So the psionic calling people is called neuro-meditative interaction. So the other thing that I thought was very interesting from this episode is that all of their data that the Skywatcher group gets is during the day. It's not nighttime video. It's all daytime ET craft that they've taken pictures of and tried to go after and stuff in their helicopters. It's also being done in the desert. And so this is what this episode is on. They also wanted to let people know that Skywatcher is a live operation. So, and they are saying, they told Russ Coulthart that by the end of the year, they're expecting Skywatcher to have undeniable proof. And I think what that means is actually getting video of an ET landing and, that like up close and personal, not these faraway pictures. But what was really interesting in this episode, and I have the tiny URL here, I will put it on the YouTube channel in the description, was that they have categorized 9 different types of UAPs. And I have a picture of this, which I think is pretty cool. Take this off. So they've identified 9 different types of UAPs. Now, I don't know if I can get myself, there we go. That might be a little bit better. So they have this Tetra Class 1 that they're calling, which is that shape, right? Like a triangle shape. Tic Tac, which they're calling Class 2, which is like the shape of a Tic Tac. There's a Blob, which is Class 3. There's a Beam, which is Class 4. A Manta Ray, which is Class 5, Bright Star, which is a Class 6 that has a pulsing to it, the Jellyfish, which we've seen footage of over a base in the Middle East, the Jellyfish craft, very interesting. Hornet, Jellyfish Class, that's 5, 6, 7, and Hornet is Class 8, and then the egg shape is Class 9. So these are the 9 different classifications that the Skywatcher group are coming up with or identifying. And again, their whole intent is to prove what many, many people know and the government hasn't messed up to totally. And so this is very interesting. So I wanted to share that. So you can go to the episode. It's tinyurl.com/GVTV Skywatcher and the number 2. And that'll get you directly to the episode that they did. So let's talk a little bit about Citizens for Disclosure. So Citizens for Disclosure is a volunteer group of American citizens. You don't have to be in America though. They're part of the New Paradigm Institute, and they're volunteers. And I have volunteered. I'm actually the state coordinator now for Florida, so I am in charge of reaching out to the people who volunteered from Florida, and our specific call to action right now is to call our Congress people. And last week you saw that I read the script, called my senator and all that, and went through that process. So that is still being encouraged. And, if it's something you want to do, the best way to get involved and sign up to be a volunteer is go to the newparadigminstitute.org. Just sign up for their email list. So just join there. Then look for where it says volunteer, and then you'll fill out a different form to actually be on the volunteer list. When you get on the email list, it's very good because this is where you will get letters from Danny Sheehan, who is the head of the New Paradigm Institute, giving you the latest information every week of what's happening with this UAP situation. So, it's been very interesting because they're in this lobbying campaign. It's all about this UAP disclosure bill that Senator Chuck Schumer and Mike Rounds they're in their third go round of it. And in there, they're wanting to talk about whistleblower protections. I talked about last week how Dr. Stephen Greer is putting the call out to anybody who's involved with aerospace contractors with the government, military people who've been involved in these black ops and things, have seen things and know things about these UAP situation, to come forward. And the way you want to do that is go to newparadigminstitute.org or go to drstephengreer.com and reach out to them, because they have lawyers and a whole way that they will protect you if you have information to give to them. Now, the reason you want to do that is because there is underway. They have a legal group, a law enforcement group that will be going to these different black sites and exposing them. So it's coming down to the wire now. If you're involved in any of this, or you know someone who is, have them come forward, because otherwise they're going to be charged, under the RICO laws. So this is getting serious, and it's important that we're aware of it, because we are, part of a cosmic community, believe it or not. We have to open up our minds and our brains and our paradigm, our belief system, that, we're more than just, people on a planet. We're part of a whole big universe. And, there are other species out there. They've been wanting to, I think, communicate with us. For some people they have, but this is coming more and more out into the open. And something that I think is important that we're aware of, because these beings are higher evolved than us and more spiritually based, and based in spiritual and higher spirituality, I think, than we practice as humanity. Plus these what am I wanted to say? These lost my train of thought. That happens. But I'll come back to it. So anyway, go to newparadigminstitute.org, get involved with this volunteer group. If you're in Florida, you'll be part of my team, and we will be doing what we need to do as citizens to get our government to finally come up, disclose what we know, what they know, right? This is part of our public right as citizens of the United States. So this is very important. All right. So I think that's all I have to share with you about that. I was going to make another call today, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I have a lot more to share with you. So let's get into the Oracle of the month. So this month's Oracle is Healing the Inner Child Oracle by Nina Mongendre. I did look it up this time, how to say her last name. It's French. So check it out. I'm going to show you, where is it? The box. This is the box Healing the Inner Child Oracle. And what's cool, Hay House has been doing lately is printing some things inside the box. So in here it says, no matter what your childhood was like, it's never too late to heal. So let me go ahead and shuffle the cards and see if we can get a message from Spirit today for all of us, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on the replay. You know, there is no real time and space. Everything is right now, right? So what is it that Spirit wants us to know right now? Interesting. So the card I got is 30, the Father. And know that this deck is brand new to me. So as, excuse me, as I, work with these cards with you, I am learning them myself for the very first time. So, part of this is so that you can see how using an oracle deck is very easy to, it's a tool to connect with the divine, in our higher power, in our, inner self. So 30, Father. Let me read to you what it says under invitation. This card invites you to bring your relationship with your Father and the divine masculine principle into balance. The divine masculine is connected to the archetypes of fatherhood, logic, protection, and right action. When we connect with this archetype in a healthy way, we are able to set boundaries, make decisions, and embody the courage and skills of the peaceful warrior. How we relate to the image of the Father within our own bodies and psyches affects how much success we have in life. It impacts our relationship with money, our business partnerships, and the depth of our connection with spirit. Some of us might be angry with the universe just as we are angry with our fathers. Do you perceive God as a masculine figure up there in the sky waiting to judge or punish you? This card invites you to trust the possibility of the existence of a benevolent and protective cosmic presence whose essence is love and who will take care of you and guide you no matter what. Our fathers might have been out of touch with their feelings, doing their best to parent without any good examples to follow. They might have been too strict or too lenient. They might have been angry, addicted, or just too busy. Remember, your parents could not give you what they did not receive. Most of our fathers were not seen by their fathers, and if they were unable to transform their pain, they transmitted it to you. This part's about the inner child. When you think of your father and how you related to him growing up, what words come to mind? Write these down. Is there something you still blame your father for? Notice if some of these words are charged with resentment. For example, my father worked hard. He was an alcoholic. He did his best. Are neutral, but abusive, drunk, and narcissistic hold a charge. Charged language can point to a wound that needs to be healed in your relationship with your father. You have the choice to accept your father as he is and to provide guidance, support, and love for your inner child. Imagine your father standing at a distance that feels comfortable to you and say out loud, "You are my father and I am your child. Thank you for the gift of life. I make the best of it by living my life fully." Invite your father to take his place behind your right shoulder. Sense him standing there and notice how you feel. Are you able to receive his support and lean into it? Or do you mistrust his ability to provide support? Notice if you feel safe with him behind you. You can ask him to step as far back as needed so you feel relaxed, and you may also want to place a boundary around him so that he stays contained within that space. Invite your mother behind your left shoulder and feel the balance. This is their place. You belong in front of them, facing your life with your inner child by your side. Come back to this image for the next several days, allowing it to anchor itself in your awareness. And there's the last part. That's the journey. This meditation invites you to heal your current relationship with the divine masculine and step into a deeper trust of this principle. Sit in a chair that offers support for your spine or with your back leaning against a wall. Notice how your body responds to being supported and held in this way. Breathe slowly and deeply as you recall moments when you trusted your father or a father figure. You may need to imagine what it would be like to allow yourself to trust the divine masculine. Sense into what is trustworthy about the masculine. Notice the back of the chair or the surface supporting you. Feel its weight and structure. Sense the structure of the floor beneath you. Is the breath a reliable ally as it moves in and out of your lungs? What do you trust? Notice any fear or mistrust that arises and give them a place. They deserve a place. We have many valid reasons to mistrust the support of the divine masculine. This is a journey of many steps. Be gentle with yourself. As you become more comfortable with your inner masculine qualities and heal the way your father lives in you, you allow yourself to receive support, to be cared for and protected. And you can step into your life with power, courage, and love instead of with fear and force. We all have wounds with the masculine and the feminine, and reparenting ourselves is instrumental in reclaiming a healthy balance of the masculine and feminine, of giving and receiving. So that is the message from Healing the Inner Child workbook. Guidebook. Oracle. I'm reading the guidebook. Yeah, and that's very interesting because, we do have our, what we believe about the male and the feminine and gender roles and all this. And now we're into a whole world of non-binary and no genders and all kinds of different a spectrum of gender, right? So this is kind of mind-blowing for some people, but very expansive for others. So yeah, that is the card for the father. And I'm curious, does that relate to you? Do you relate to this in any kind of way? Yeah, very interesting. I don't really have any comments to share on that, but I think that was a pretty cool card. All right, so if you'd like this oracle deck or anything else that I have shared with you over time, books, oracles, things, shop my Amazon store. And the way you get to it is just go to good-vibes.tv. So I want to share with you next a special event that's coming up, and it's actually tonight. We have our monthly webinar called Longevity with Light. And so the light technology that we're talking about, it's a wearable light technology that activates our stem cells. And our stem cells are the cells that help repair and rejuvenate our body. And as we age, we make less of it, or they're less activated because we're not making this special copper peptide that activates the stem cells. So we're going to talk about that tonight, and also this other wearable technology called the X49 patch, which activates a sister peptide to the X39, and that assists with muscles and athletic performance. And we have a special guest tonight, Trey Holwiger is our guest, and this is happening at 8:00 tonight. Oh, and Lauren is here, and she's saying, thank you for sharing. Lauren, so good to see you. I mean, just your picture, but I'm glad to see you here. So yeah, wherever you're watching from, please give me a shout out. mention whatever you would like to. So tonight's webinar at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, you go to tinyurl.com/longevity APR 2025 with the L and the A capitalized. And this will get you the webinar replay. You'll get reminders in your email, and you can watch the replay afterwards if you miss it live. And this is a webinar where you can actually chat and ask questions and things like that. So very excited to be doing this every month about this special light technology. So next on the agenda is the 2025 Food Revolution Summit. Healthy People, Healthy Planet is their theme this year. And the Food Revolution Summit Docuseries happens every year. Ocean Robbins and his father, John, have been putting this on for several years. And it's a docuseries that will feature 45 of the world's top doctors, researchers, and wellness experts. And they're going to talk about the hidden truth about pesticides and how to avoid them. They're going to talk about what big ag and big pharma won't tell you about your diet and disease. They're going to cover the best foods for energy, clarity, and longevity, the critical nutrient that most of us lack and how to fix it, and how every meal you eat can also be a vote for a healthier future. So I do have a little video to play so you can learn a little bit more about this event.
There's an old saying that a person with their health has 1,000 dreams. A person without it has got just one dream, which is to get it back. In the face of pain or serious illness, recovering health can become the most important goal, if not the only goal. But the truth is that every bite you take could be leading you toward either more suffering or more vitality. And if you know that food matters and you want the latest scientifically grounded insights, if you want to make wise choices for yourself and for the people you love most, then please join in the 2025 Food Revolution Summit docuseries, Healthy People, Healthy Planet. Over the course of 8 riveting episodes, we're going to cover longevity, your brain, your gut, your heart, cancer, fitness, nutrition, and our world. Find out about this year's biggest breakthroughs in food and health. What you learn could make the difference between whether you wind up in a nursing home waiting for death or climbing mountains. Every bite counts. Join the revolution. Please join us.
So there you go. That is the Food Revolution Network. And yeah, it's so important. What we eat, we become, right? We are what we eat. That little phrase is so true. And again, here is the website to go to, tinyurl.com/GBTV Food Summit. Okay, and we're winding down here in the show. Our next little segment is going to be about, oops, I didn't want that up there. What's happening? There we go. Oh, that Mercury retrograde. She's still, or he, still picking on us. All right, so spiritual activism, just a few words on that. So yeah, this past Saturday on April 5th, there were a ton of protests all around the country. The group called 5051, it started back, I think, in February with 50 state capitals, 50 protests on one day. And so this last one, the theme was hands off, and it was peaceful. As far as I know, all these protests are peaceful, and the organizers were very adamant that they are peaceful. So the next one that's coming up will be on April 19th across the country, different places. And you can go to #5051 and find their different websites. I don't have their direct website right now, but you could Google it and get it. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that peaceful protest. You know, I think now is a really important time to get involved with our country. If you are an American, you know, we kind of have I feel a responsibility to be involved with our government. This is how it's set up. Because if we don't, if the people are not involved in the government's going to go crazy, do whatever they want to do, and they're not necessarily going to have our best interests at heart. And here we are, right? Here we are. So, what can we do? Well, peaceful protests for sure. Get involved with these organizations, but definitely peaceful. No violence. This is about spiritual activism, and MLK and Gandhi. All these different leaders showed us how to do it, how to make change, but in a peaceful way. So the other thing we can do is meditate. And I love Pam Gregory. She's an astrology. She started this could be maybe more than a year now, to set aside a time, 2:00 p.m. Eastern time, which is 7:00 UK time where she's at, but every day for 15 minutes to just send love and light to the planet. And just by doing this collectively makes a difference. So she was recommending this be done every Sunday at 2 Eastern time, whatever time that is in your time zone. So she was, but she expanded it for every day, so that every day at 2:00 Eastern time, we stop and we send love and light to the planet. I sometimes like to use the Global Coherence app, which you can do, but she's saying you don't need any technology, just do it. Set a timer maybe for 15 minutes and send love and light to the planet, connect with everyone. I like using the Global Coherence app, which is free, and it is in the description on YouTube of how you can download it and use it. So yeah, those are some ways you can practice spiritual activism and make a difference on our planet in a very peaceful way. All right, so our next part of the show is our tip of the week to raise our vibration. So last week's tip of the week was to unplug from all our devices and computers and everything and just be still for 15 minutes. Did you do that? And if you did, what did you experience? How was it different? And how did it help you? I would imagine, I've done this several times, and for me, it helps me bring myself into peace and balance. It's kind of like when there's a hurricane happening, where you want to be is in the center of the storm, the eye of the storm, because that's where it's calm and peaceful, and there's no chaos. So that's where we want to go. And by getting ourselves to a place of stillness, I think that's how we can get there. So this week's tip of the week to raise your vibration is to dance under the full moon. Now, dancing is a great way to raise our vibration, no matter what time of the year it is. Just dance and move the body, and just put on some crazy music and dance to a couple songs, and you will totally raise your vibration, especially if you're in a funk. Try it. But to dance under the full moon is even a better example of where you can really let go under the full moon. And as you're dancing, maybe think of all the things you're joyful for, or if there's angst and stuff, dance that stuff out so you release it and let it go. But dance under the full moon and just let it out and do that, and that will raise your vibration. So dancing is a natural and easy way to unwind during the full moon, and full moons are about letting things go. So dance it out, and you can dress up or just dance in your PJs. It just doesn't matter. The main thing is that you're moving your body, and as you're moving your body, you're releasing excess tension and energy and things, and you'll feel better. You release that lower stuff and you can rise up like a cork on the water, right? The lower vibrations pull us down under the water. If you let go of those, then you naturally rise up to the top of the water. That's one of the things Abraham Hicks likes to talk about. All right, so that does it for me for this week's Good Vibes Lifestyle. I'm so glad that you joined us. I appreciate it. And, I want to wish you a great week, a great full moon. Do something fun, dance under the full moon, bring yourself into balance. It's a Libra moon, and Venus, the planet of love, is going direct. So all that energy will be there for us as well. So I want to thank you for watching. And if you got some value from this episode, please share it with your friends, subscribe, share. All these things help to get the word out and raise the vibe of the planet. So I want to thank you for watching and wish you many blessings and peace out, everyone. Take care.